Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast that never sleeps. I'm your host, Cameron. With me always is Jared. And
hey there.
Hola! Yeah, we got a really fun show planned today. So I got a cool segment. Jared, I know you got a cool segment. What are you diving into today, my boy?
I'm going to be talking about the secrets of the ancient world.
Let's go.
About 11,600 years ago, humanity was up to some strange things. And I'm going to talk about what those things were and what they mean. There is a meaning behind it. It sustains to this day, and we're going to unsolve and unravel these mysteries today during this episode. Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Oh, it's crazy.
And then I'm doing a Why So meme.
Yeah.
So somebody became a meme, Jared.
Exciting.
I know.
It's always fun to see those people.
I know. And this one's exceptionally obnoxious. And so that's going to be fun.
I liked last week's was great.
Yeah. And yeah, and we got a good news segment.
Great.
We got a fun episode, dude. Are you ready to jump in? You want to roll this intro?
Woo.
Let's go. Let's do. Man, I got my disappointed face on. You like the end of Loki season 2?
Yeah.
Him with the green time. It sounds like something I would make up. It really does.
A ghost, a ghoul, a goblin, a monster, a werewolf.
Went on and wrote in the comments. I was gonna say that came out great.
You're off to a great start.
Yeah. We got some fun stuff planned today. We got some goods. Yes, we do. We got the goods. So, man, I've been waiting all week. This is the highlight. What are you missing?
I thought I had a Red Bull, but I don't.
That's a shame.
It is. It's sad.
You reach over for nothing.
Exactly.
At least that had a good sizzle when you opened it. But speaking of sizzle,
Nectar of the gods.
this, what, is sparkling waters, the nectar of the gods?
Well, I'm a god, so
Nope.
if I drink it.
But so
Nectar
I'm
of the
excited
gods.
for your segment. You're excited for my segment. And we're both excited for the new segment.
Yeah.
Gio and Chase up in the chat.
Yeah.
So first, I want to start by mentioning an old friend of ours. Do you remember last week? You just spoke about her. We mentioned Rachel Gunn, aka Raygun.
Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about that.
Dude.
It was what?
I just kept looking into it.
It drove me crazy.
It's so fascinating. So while I was doing more research into it, just for funsies, because it's so fascinating and so odd.
It is. It's fascinating.
Yeah, that I actually figured out. I found something that I think you might even find interesting, and it might answer the question of why Rachel Gunn was in the Olympics. For those who don't know, Rachel Gunn is maybe the greatest. Can we say the greatest Australian breakdancer of all time, if not in the world?
I'm hoping that her skills were passed down generation after generation, being perfected for hundreds of years.
On her mother's side,
Right.
Her mother was an amazing breakdancer,
and they trace their roots back to the deep south and the bayou.
Yeah.
There's some voodoo involved, maybe.
There's definitely has to be like some magical element.
Yeah, I want there to be magic, Latvian maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fictional country would be awesome.
Yeah, some Dr. Doom.
Yeah. So basically, they were just these normal people.
Okay.
And then they're like, let's do some voodoo.
Yeah.
And that's how they got the breaking skill set that they have.
You do the voodoo that you do. Mm-hmm.
How do you do the voodoo that you do?
How do?
But, dude, check this out and tell me that this isn't, I don't know, the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Petition has been circulating demanding that Rachel Gunn, also known as Ray Gunn, be held
name.
accountable for their roles in the
gonna take that away
breakdancing
from her.
debacle. Being such a niche sport in Australia, didn't have a formal governing body. So Rachel Gunn took it upon herself to create one, to get breakdancing included in this year's Olympics.
Good for
However, her actions appear far from ethical.
I guess
She
you can't
appointed
keep her
herself
out
as
of
the
it
head
then.
of this newly formed governing body, and her husband took on the roles of both judge and coach for the qualifiers.
And
The most
CFO,
disturbing part of the story
interestingly
is
enough.
that Rachel Gunn
That's a lot
allegedly
of money
blocked
missing.
genuinely talented breakdancers from underprivileged communities from even participating in the selection process. It appears she secured her spot in the games by essentially eliminating the competition, many of whom were far more skilled. Videos of these other
sure.
dancers show their talent is undeniable. And a
Look at that.
Change.org petition was
Yeah.
launched this morning.
That's what it-
Like real
demanding
breakdancing?
accountability and transparency. The petition has gained over 4,000 signatures.
So basically, one of the judges awarded themselves first place and then put themselves in the Olympics.
So not only that, she created a governing body that she made herself the head of.
Of course, right.
And then for the qualifying event, her husband was one of the judges.
No conflict there.
No conflict of interest.
Yep.
No, she is in charge of the governing body, and her husband is
So all of the blowback that she's getting is deserved. She
absolutely.
brought all of this on herself, and she can't blame anything else. She can't blame what she's blaming on the blowback. She did this to herself. This is what she wanted.
But no, because she's blaming sexism.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You can't.
Yeah.
You put
Too late.
yourself in this position.
Too late.
You stopped better athletes from
Absolutely.
being able to take your spot.
Absolutely.
So now you have to reap what you sowed.
You find
and
any
this is it.
extra in the movie, step up to the streets.
Yeah.
And they will be a better contestant than Rachel Gunn.
Dude, there's
Raygun.
those movies are 100 years old. The dancing has come so far since then. What are those movies? The really good ones where they would battle each other.
You got served.
You got served, exactly. Come on, what's up?
I think there's only one. But dude, I don't know.
think
It's hard to
there's
say
two.
because this move, not everyone can do this. Do you remember this?
Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
frozen kangaroo.
Yeah. I like I think even the cheerleading movie had like better
Bring It On.
breakdancers in it. Remember the Bring It On breakdancers on the
course.
side? They were doing all kinds of break moves.
Yeah.
Those guys were killing.
Remember the show,
That's a
the
50-year-old
Jabberwockies
movie.
one?
Yeah.
So you think you can dance? I don't know what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called.
They won and got a show in Vegas that still runs to
still
this
does.
day. It's been 30 years.
There's great breakdancers
Yeah.
out there.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
so
a sport.
you know what would have been best if she would have just say, you know what, guys?
It's not niche.
Yeah, no.
I didn't like that.
No. She should have come in and been like, I know. I was messing around. We were having a bit of laugh.
Well, no, because then it shows the corrupt way in which she got her position in the first place.
But that's happening regardless.
Own it. Now, yeah. She should have just taken the loss and
Taking
just
the L, shut
walked
up,
away.
not blame
Yeah.
misogyny.
Don't. Yeah, that's
Crazy.
people are gonna start digging. You do that.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Or maybe there's something more to the
Yeah.
story here. Why would she go there?
Yeah.
There's something here that maybe we don't know yet.
And her like
that's that.
apology video, whatever it was, because that was about a petition that has almost 50,000 signatures saying she should like apologize to the world and there should be like an investigation.
They should put her in all the other categories for every other sport and let her compete. Because
You know
That'd
who
be the
said this?
best.
It was like Jim Carrey. It was
have her do javelin.
It was someone famous, and it was some like famous comedian. They said that they should put a normal person in every Olympic event,
Yeah.
just so you can like gauge and see like
How
oh yeah,
amazing
like
these
how
guys- yeah.
because they make it look so effortless.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
And they're
you, like,
winning by a half a centimeter.
Yeah.
But really, it's like they're running like a jaguar.
You know, yeah, and then exactly, and then you have me jump in and do the
Nope,
pommel
yeah.
horse.
Try jumping over one of those things. Nope. Yeah, the pommel.
You know, yeah,
come on.
and then, well, in the meantime, they're in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
It's insane.
she's part of the alphabet people.
Yeah. And she's on the Why So meme. She's been added.
Wait, what do you meme? Boom,
There
Rachel
she
Raygun.
is.
But we'll get there.
And what a stance. That's what, I mean, that's the one. If you're going to put her up there, that's the one.
Dude, and the fact that she came out like so confident,
Yeah.
like she thinks she's a great breakdancer.
She's going to be a South Park character.
Oh,
at
if
some
she's- if
point
she hasn't
soon.
already, like,
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Oh, that's true. She
Yeah.
might already be in this next episode.
But she was.
yeah.
I'm like,
they're going to do something
Sweetie,
with this.
baby, no.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Well deserved.
yeah, all the backlash she's getting, we are allowed to shit all over her because
Anybody that, yeah, it
asked
just
for it.
is what it is. Yeah.
If you're going to be on the world stage at the Olympics,
Yeah.
where it is literally the greatest athletes.
Have you ever heard
In the
people
world.
talk about the teams they like when they're losing?
Yeah.
You can't throw a ball to save your life, you freaking moron.
These
You're such
amazing
an idiot.
athletes.
You garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out of here. You're stinking up the whole place. This is the team they love. The
Yeah.
people they revere. Their
Yeah.
posters on the wall, and they say this about them.
Did you hear?
So be this.
Did you hear what the coach said? Her coach for the women's Olympic.
He said, "Oh, I taught everything she knows."
She's the best out there.
Yeah.
No, he said, or she said, she's like, I saw Rachel train every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is
That
Australia,
matters.
Whatever it is, I saw her train.
So
She's
did all the
she's
other contestants.
she is one of the greatest breakers in all of Australia, which doesn't say a lot.
There's
about
no
Australia.
way. No.
But that's just patently
I'm
false.
guessing there's this huge like
breakdancing community
yeah.
that
Oh,
slays
yeah.
100%. 100%. What's up, Tina?
Yeah.
So
good chat already.
And look at them with all their badges.
I love these guys. Yeah.
You got these stinking badges. But they're not here for Rachel Raygun, Jared.
No.
They're not. You know what they're here for?
What?
They're here for the fucking goods. So let's give them the goods. So, Jared, you have a segment today that is actually going to be tying into something that is coming up in the future. Do you want to explain that to the folks at home?
So we're creeping up on our 2-year anniversary, but it's also our episode 100, right? And we've covered so many topics on this show. During an episode, how many times do you hear us say episode on this, episode on this, episode on this? So what we're going to be doing for episode 100 is we're going to be taking a lot of the topics that we've been talking about lately, and you can find this in our live page on our YouTube channel, all of our live podcast episodes. There are a ton of topics that we've been talking about that seem disparate, that seem that they have nothing to do with each other. Yeah. But I'm telling you that there is a major answer to one of the most important questions humanity has ever asked, hidden within these episodes, that there's these connected dots, if you will, between the topics we've been doing. And for episode 100, we're going to draw these connections. We're going to connect all the dots, and we're going to draw a conclusion that hopefully you guys love and can weigh in on and tell us what you think. But I think we're going to blow your freaking mind for episode 100. So get ready for that. Today's episode is one of these breadcrumbs that we're going to be connecting in that episode 100.
So sick.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm excited. Yeah. And guys, by the way, we do have chapters. If you want to skip ahead to what we're talking about on the thumbnail, that should be coming up any second. But if you want to skip to the Why So Meme, where I talk about
the news,
someone insane who has the biggest, craziest ego of all time.
These are always fun people.
Oh man. Yeah. And when you look at the chapters, you'll see who I'm talking about, because I sort of don't want to spoil it. If you've heard the name, it's a lot of fun.
Don't spoil it.
But so this doesn't sound like a Why So Meme, because that's what I'm doing.
Dude, this is there's some conspiracy built in here.
So conspiracy,
but for the most part, no, it is what you believe it to be.
Like, if I were to guess, and call me crazy, I'd say this sounds like it's part of the ancient and mysterious.
Oh, it's definitely ancient. It's very mysterious.
So let me ask you this. Yeah. Do any of these objects on screen now have anything to do with what we'll be discussing?
Not only for today, but for episode 100, yes. Almost everything on there is going to play a part in episode 100. But today, there are some graphics on there that we're going to discuss.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, people. Yeah. I love it. So what do we got, Jared? Talk to me. What are we diving into?
So what I teased earlier, secrets of the underground. There are a lot of ancient sites that have been uncovered over the decades, right? Over the past 150 years or so. And there's a lot of questions around some of these sites. And I believe that these ancient sites are trying to tell us something. Okay. And I'm going to show you what these sites are. I'm going to explain what they are. And I'm going to try to explain what they're telling us. And it's frightening. And like I said, there's conspiracy here. Yeah. There's a lot of strangeness. Yeah. And I want to start off with a video just to kind of get us into the zone of what we're going to be looking at. Yeah.
So there's a giant secret that needs to be revealed and that is being kept from us for who knows how long.
Yes.
And you're going to expose that?
Yep.
Here. And then episode 100
on this episode. Yep. We're talking today. We're going to be talking about the secrets of the underground.
I love it. I got the chills.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we full screening this, or are we just?
It's a short, but yeah, if you can full screen it, full screen it.
Of course, I can.
Let's get us in the zone. This is so
Imagine
cool.
a giant egg-shaped rock like this, which is standing at a 10 feet height from the ground level. You cannot even touch it, and it looks shiny and smooth like an egg. But a few centuries ago,
not who I was picturing.
Because of an earthquake, a stone door cracked and fell down. Only then the locals realized that it had a chamber inside.
What
the door
shit?
An earthquake was so well made, and it was perfectly fit in the doorway that nobody could even recognize it was a door. They had
Dude, that's bello.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Totally
to put
hidden
a ladder
by
and
time.
climbed up. And this is how they discovered
entrance
this
Yeah.
chamber.
to,
No one
underground
knows
cavern.
when this chamber was
Yo.
originally created. There are no inscriptions pointing to the origin of this chamber.
which is common.
Dude, what?
Isn't that wild? Okay, so starting from there, like I said, secrets of the underground, secrets
Wait.
of the yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just. So that was exposed by an earthquake?
Yeah. One day,
So they thought it
people
was just this giant fucking freaking rock?
yeah, just this blank area,
And then
in this
A little of this
rock
happens,
quarry.
and this perfect square doorway.
Yeah.
Like with multiple squares. Like this is architecture here.
Oh yeah, look! Did you see how beautiful?
No, yeah.
and level and
I made the Lord of the Rings comparison.
dug out of the rock the way they did that, and then obviously hollowed out, and it revealed an entire underground cavern that had never been discovered or even known. People just walk past it for
What's in it?
centuries. Not
What's
knowing.
inside?
Good question, and for the most part, we never find out when the government takes control of these places. And I have a theory as to why, and it's going to play directly into what we're discussing today.
Son of a gun. All right.
So, as I said before, about 11,600 years ago, mankind got up to a lot of strange, unexplained things. We started building ancient structures, these ancient structures, like, as an example, Gobekli Tepe.
Sure.
And the date is very significant. So 11,600 years ago, we start seeing, as we start excavating and using LiDAR and archaeology starts uncovering that around this time period, these huge megalithic structures are being built all around the world. Agriculture starts popping up around the sites, but the sites existed before agriculture was there, which is usually the other way around, right?
You
culture
find a
settles
lush
in,
area and then you
start,
build your civilization around it.
right. But these
Okay.
places are backwards.
Went backwards.
They're specifically chosen and they're turned into these amazing structures.
So there's a reason why they're choosing this place.
Right.
That could be in the middle of a desert.
Well, and the most bizarre part about this is back then, this is right after the last ice age, right? Right when the ice age ended is when these things start popping up.
Okay.
Every day is survive. You need to go out,
Oh, man.
find food, and not get killed by something. That is your only mission. Every day when you wake up, this in this distant past.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Let me clock into work.
Yeah.
By that I mean survive.
Yeah, hunt, gather. That's really all you can do. Make sure that you have some sort of shelter and then have a family and keep
Honey,
them alive.
have a good gather today. Have a good hunt, my dear.
Right?
That's it.
What made building something like Gobekli Tepe just as important as surviving? Where you would be able to mobilize
what?
thousands
Yeah.
of people to say, okay, we're not going to go find food. Instead, we're going to move giant stones and carve them.
Yeah.
It had to have been just as important as surviving to them.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, no, literally, because
Yeah.
you have to almost more important because in lieu of getting more food and
Right.
gathering and let's stockpile a bunch of grub.
Yeah, that's everything.
They're like,
That's
no,
the most
no,
important thing.
Let me sustain just enough so I can go freaking help build this egg for some reason with
Yeah.
a beautiful doorway.
Right. And the importance of
Crazy.
it. Why?
Yeah.
Why did they need to build this? Why was it so important that they didn't just figure it out as they went along. This had
No.
obviously been planned out
Yeah.
and engineered
Yeah.
and designed, and then an entire workforce of thousands would have had to have been given tasks fit to their specific skill set.
Sure.
And every day they would work on this project. So what made this project as important as survival itself? Because it's the only way that this
And
makes
these
sense.
aren't slaves. It's not like they're being forced
No.
into doing this.
Yeah.
So they're
Before this,
choosing to do this.
there's no evidence that people organized in any fashion whatsoever.
all.
It's just hunter-gatherers, small tribal groups trying to survive and just make it.
That's how old.
And this is at the end of the Ice Age. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like, these are the people that made it through the Great Flood and the Ice Age. And coming out of that cataclysmic event, these people, as important as survival, is building these structures.
So this is based on the assumption that human beings survived a cataclysm of some kind.
Right, which we can It's not a theory. We can say that this is fact, that there was a cataclysm and there was an ice age that ended 11,600 years ago.
Well, in the Bible, they talk about it
there. Yep. They talk about it in all
every
the tribes.
Bible,
around the world talk about it. We have geological evidence. We've the rock formations, the sediment where it's burned at that time period. Remember, we showed all the evidence in a previous episode of the Younger Dryas impact. They don't know what it was specifically. Could it be a solar event? Yes. Could it have been an impact? Yes. Where's the crater? It hit a bunch of ice, so there isn't one. But we have enough evidence to show that the world did have a cataclysmic event about 12,000 years ago, and that there was an ice age that followed it, which would happen if the ice caps melted and everything exploded and there was a massive flood. You would have this period of time where the Earth was covered with ice, and then as that ice melted, it's 11,600 years ago, and these people decide that they need to build these structures. So that's our time frame. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Cataclysm, Great Flood, Ice Age ends, these structures start being built.
Dude, talk about hit after hit. It's like, oh man, this cataclysm, dude, everyone was wiped out, man. Oh my, everyone I know, basically. And it's like, oh, now it's an ice age.
Right.
Dope.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
GL saying in the chat, the chamber was there before the cataclysm.
I'm not sure what chamber he's talking about. If you're talking about Gobekli Tepe,
the one we were just looking at. Right?
Oh, maybe the egg one. Yeah, sure. We can't date that. We have no idea when that was built.
The good thing is
the egg one.
He can just tell us which one he was talking about.
That's true. And let us know. So first, I want to talk about Gobekli Tepe because it's been dated to 11,600 years ago, post Ice Age.
We have images
and we have pictures of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at how beautiful this place is. It's made up of huge megalithic, stone towers in the shape of these T's.
Okay.
Yep.
So give me a reference point here. How big is what I'm looking
Go back
at
down a little bit.
Scroll down.
Yep. Scroll back down. There's a second photo of it. So this is the covered area where
look at the size
can
of
go visit
humans
it.
compared. Okay.
So this is only showing about 3 enclosures right now. That's what they've excavated. LiDAR shows there's probably 24 of them, maybe more. And this covers...
Below this?
No, all around it. All around the area. So each enclosure was built on its own at its own time period. And these were being built over the span of about 1,500 years.
Yeah.
So the people that lived in this area, every 100 years or so, would come build a new one. They wouldn't retrofit the old one. They built a new enclosure in this area, and they oriented them just slightly towards a different direction. So what could that mean, and why did they do it, right?
Yeah.
The entire area is about 22 acres, to give you an idea. So you're talking, dozens of football fields. Yeah, it's huge. So you have a 22-acre area, and so far, only 5% of Gobekli Tepe's been excavated. Jeez. Now, there's some strangeness to this.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming.
So these different enclosures, why are they oriented towards different directions?
Yeah.
Well, because we knew the date of that main enclosure, the largest one, they started tracking the sky, because we can do that. We can see where the sky was during that specific time period in those years. And they realized that the T-shaped megaliths would align with Sirius, the star Sirius. They were tracking Sirius, where it would be on the horizon. So every 100 years or so, they would build a new one and face it towards where Sirius would be on the horizon.
So it's like Stonehenge, where it can literally predict where the planets would be, like the
very
alignment.
similar, a henge of some kind,
and it's literally just stones.
Megaliths,
Weird.
It is weird. So why were they tracking Sirius? Why was that as important as eating? Why was that as important?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Why did that come before agriculture? Agriculture, we know because of digging it up and LiDAR that the crops in the area popped up after the structures were built, meaning they weren't living there and eating there. No. They went there to build this, and they started tracking Sirius every 100 years. Where is it?
So you think why they started building at these places?
There's a couple theories, and in the Henjits,
I was just gonna say, GL was saying he was talking about the egg one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but that temple is older than 12,000 years old, or 12,000 years, and he said it could be older than that just because of the simple fact it was covered in sand. preserve stuff.
So here's what makes Gobekli Tepe pretty strange. So in the main enclosure, and they're dating it, like I said, to 11,600 years ago, which is after the Ice Age. There is a set of glyphs. They carved the star constellations onto this main megalith, which gives you a specific date because you know exactly where the stars are. You can track that, and where were when were the stars, these constellations, in this
when did they
configuration?
look like this?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And that's how they were able to track it to the last cataclysm. They were commemorating in this structure the end of the world when the cataclysm actually hit. They built it post-cataclysm, but they knew about the cataclysm. They knew when it happened and what the constellation alignments were when we were hit. So whatever the cataclysm was,
whatever it was, they
tracked the date.
They were like, oh, it was on a Thursday, November 2nd.
Exactly.
Let's pretend.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, okay, how did the stars look Thursday, November 2nd?
Yeah.
Work their way
And
backwards.
carved it in stone to make sure that it stayed there forever, that we always knew this happened.
So is that to preserve their history and be like, oh, let's show people this happened, or is it a warning of some kind?
So great questions. And because we can't ask them, all we can do is theorize. And people that have studied this, I'm talking the guys that work at the site, the guys and gals that are actually excavating Göbekli Tepe and that are deciphering these glyphs, that found out when the constellations were in this specific order, they believe the reason they were tracking Sirius is because whatever hit us came out of that.
Sirius?
Exactly.
Oh,
came
no
from
shiz.
the Sirius star constellation. And they were tracking it because they knew it was going to happen again.
So the only way that makes sense, and tell me if I'm missing anything.
Yeah.
The only way that makes sense is if it's something intelligent. Because a meteor, they can't be like, it's for sure going to be a meteor again that's going to break up. There's no way to tell that.
So where Sirius is actually sits in an asteroid belt, and the Earth does pass through this belt every so many years.
Oh, so they sort of could.
Exactly. They could use that as a way to track when the Earth would be back in the danger zone.
Even, yeah, exactly. Even if it's a rough assumption of this is the time where we will be back in the so quote unquote danger zone.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Okay.
And they needed it carved in stone so that the future generations knew you have to watch here because once we get back to this certain point again and the stars are aligned like this, then we're going to be in the danger zone again.
Hey, hon, doesn't that look like the night sky to
Yeah. So how do you do that back then? We don't have computers, so you carve it in stone, and every 100 years you build a new one, tracking where the star is, where the asteroid belt is, the location of it, and you keep doing it. They did it over 24 times that we know about using LiDAR.
really? So you see, there was something built, something built, destroyed, built over it, 25.
Not over it. They're all still there. We just haven't excavated them. We've only excavated 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Now, why wouldn't we, once we make this discovery, start excavating the hell out of this whole site? Why wouldn't we uncover every single enclosure there?
You have no idea.
Right? Why wouldn't we?
There's no
So,
sense behind that.
About a decade ago, when the ramifications of what these carvings when the ramifications came to light of what these carvings could actually mean, that there is something coming that we can watch out for.
Impending doom.
Yeah. A certain group decided to fund the excavation of Gobekli Tepe, and they became the decision makers on what gets excavated and when and how and what the important parts are. And that group is called the World Economic Forum.
Oh, yeah. That. Mm-hmm.
Now, why would the World Economic Forum want decision-making power in when and how to excavate Gobekli Tepe? Why would that be important to them?
Well, a better question is what is the World Economic Forum?
Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, they're
Charles Schwab.
They represent billions of dollars, a limitless amount of money, and they have their hands into all sorts of pies when it comes to control over the future. of this world.
The way of the future.
Yeah, their big thing that made headlines in the past couple of years was you'll own nothing and be happy.
So what are they?
Have you
think
heard that?
Tank? They're
Yeah, basically, it's a group of billionaires that
socialist, communist.
Klaus Schwab said that. I don't know if he represents their we don't know enough, right? We just know that he
And
that
that's
he was
what
in
they
charge of
want.
this
They don't
big-
want us to know.
Maybe not. Maybe because they have the money. Gobekli Tepe, the excavation was given $15 million recently of funding. And they said, we're not going to excavate. We're going to build more covered areas for tourism. That's what they're using it for. They're not going to excavate. They said, we're going to leave the rest of the excavation to future generations. They actually said those words.
Cool.
So
we're not gonna like do like the heavy lifting and stuff. Like, and we have the money, like for sure. But like, what if our like grandkids did it? Let's do that.
do you know what the state of Gobekli Tepe was in when we found it? How we uncovered it? It was filled in with rocks.
What do you mean?
It was intentionally buried.
It was okay.
Intentionally.
Miss Michael Domino, what's up?
So we have a site that may be able to predict the end of the world, and somebody buried it to either protect that message or to hide it.
Yeah.
And present day, we have a group that's tied to all kinds of conspiratorial issues and world dominating type stuff,
NWO-esque.
taking control of this site and keeping it buried. That's weird, right?
No, it's creepy.
It's very creepy.
Yeah. Why would they have
Why?
any interest at all?
Yeah.
Unless like they know something they know something we don't, or they are afraid that we're gonna find out something, or,
So you're
that there's something there.
So your head's at where my head's at. That's pretty much what I was thinking. The story in the area, just before we leave Gobekli Tepe, the story of what got everyone organized and building this was after the Great Flood, after the Cataclysm, the survivors were greeted by a man who came out of the ocean, who was half man, half fish. He brought his 7 sages, and they taught them architecture, agriculture, rule of law, organized labor, and showed them how to build and grow crops. We've heard this story before, right?
Aquaman. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe. Maybe that's where Aquaman comes from. But we've heard this tale before, everywhere around the world. There's always these bearded men that show up out of the ocean. Now, what makes these people interesting is, well, let me get to something else first.
Okay.
So we have all these cool chambers, or these cool, chambers basically that are tracking possibly the end of the world at Gobekli Tepe, and this is in Turkey. What else is in Turkey? If you were to try and prepare for the eventual ending of the world, what else would you do? You would build this to track it, so you knew when it was coming.
Yeah.
And you'd probably build
Shelter
yourself
of some kind.
a shelter of
Yeah.
some kind, right?
Sure.
Well, not too far in Turkey is a place called Derinkuyu, and I have a picture of this. This is an underground complex that was discovered accidentally.
It's called Derinkuyu.
Yes.
Okay. I've never heard of this.
Check it out. Look at the picture of this place. Okay. So this is a graphic of what it looks like. It's about 18 stories deep.
Wait, what am I freaking looking at here?
Yeah, right? So it's about 18 stories deep. Once it was sealed, it was completely sealed up, but they had air ducts. They had water, like wells that were dug into the actual stone. This is an underground complex with the ability to hold about 20,000 people. There were churches in there.
This is a recreation from a side view.
Exactly.
Of something that goes down how far?
Under 18 stories deep. Able to hold 20,000 people. They found homes in there.
Yeah.
They found areas for livestock. They found areas to grow crops.
Yeah.
They found churches.
It's Vault 101, mother trucker.
It is.
Yeah.
This is the
Fallout.
This is a Fallout bunker for sure. And this is built not too far from there, right? So this could hold 20,000. They found a tunnel that connects it to a second and third location. All about the same or size or bigger. So in total, these three all connected by underground tunnels, could hold almost 100,000 people.
Why have I never heard of this?
Isn't this amazing?
Derinkuyu?
Yeah. It's one of the greatest discoveries in mankind's history.
And how far away from
It's in Turkey.
Gobekli Tepe is this?
Miles, a couple hours, by car. Not wild.
So they had cars. No, I'm kidding.
And
So-
it's connected to other cities underground by tunnels.
Only reason to go underground is for catastrophic events.
Yeah.
Yeah, because underground isn't fun.
So Chase
I
understanding.
mean,
so,
I disagree, and I'll tell you why.
okay.
Because you know how I feel about the sun. Ew, gross! The sun, and you know I've always felt that way, Jared. But
Well, we're talking survival now. Like we said, it was just as important as survival to these people that they not only track the end of the world, but that they build a safety bunker to retreat to when the end of the world happens again. Because these are the children of the children of the children that survived the flood, right?
Yeah.
Now, guess what's so cool about Derinkuyu that they found?
What?
They have these big rolling stones that would cover
They
doorways.
discovered the Rolling Stones.
They discovered the Rolling Stones that
That's
would
it.
cover the doorways and make them airtight as a way, almost like a submarine has with ballast tanks,
Yeah.
that they could shut off an area should it be flooded. And in the rest of the complex,
Titanic, baby.
they can close off areas and make them airtight. When it was first discovered, they thought that they were using, and dude, the engineering of these wheels,
Is
and
legit.
they're so huge and heavy and airtight. They weigh 1,000 tons, but they can roll them effortlessly and cover the doorways airtight. Yeah.
What was the mechanism they used? How did they?
They're just rolling. It was just in this track where it could roll back and forth, and it could airtight seals to make sure that if it flooded, they could seal off that area and the rest of the city could survive. Some people thought it was
if it
for
were
fighting.
to flood,
Yeah, that's a guess. What if it was fire? What if it was flooding? What if it was
mutants?
enemies? What if it was people?
gas?
Yeah, that wanted in because the surface is a mess. Something's happening.
and it's
Sorry.
if it's mustard gas.
Yeah, not everyone's
Having
invited.
an airtight, not everyone's
Yeah.
invited. Having an airtight doorway.
That's
I mean,
cool.
There's a million,
uses for it.
possibilities.
Yeah. But I think the idea was to be able to seal areas off and to stop the spread
Freaky,
of whatever
dude.
was spreading.
Freaky.
Yeah, throughout the
What if it's
complex.
like a zombie thing, huh?
Like a sickness, an illness, maybe.
Some saying
Yeah,
to you,
we
dude.
gotta seal it off because this is the survival of mankind.
Yeah,
They don't know if there's anyone else out there, right? This is it. This could be the only people to survive the next cataclysm living in these cities.
So, and you might be getting to this, but how did they know? All right, folks. Now that the catastrophe, dude, that shit sucked. That ice age
Yeah.
is the worst. But all right, here, let's build here.
Right.
Why not build it wherever?
Right. How did they know how to build it? This is hunter gatherers.
And
This is Ice Age.
and that old question too.
Yeah. There was nothing before this that showed that they had the know-how to design and engineer something like Gobekli Tepe. How
With
did they go from no
1,000-ton,
experience
airtight fucking chambers.
to these perfect structures and building an underground city that can sustain 20,000 people?
And how old
Three
is
of them.
Gobekli Tepe?
11,600 years old. So again, the end of the last ice age.
Weird.
So this is after the Younger Dryas impact, after the cataclysm, post-cataclysm.
Okay.
And like I said, they
According to the
commemorated
Younger
it.
Dryas theory.
Yeah,
Okay.
they commemorated it on the walls. They showed when it happened.
Or
they said this is what
this
happened.
is the warning. Okay.
Yeah,
commemoration
and then they tracked
slash warning?
serious, because they were like, when it happens again, we'll be ready this
It's
time.
serious.
And now we have a bunker not too far from here. All of our people can fit in it. Like I said, it could hold up to 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And underground tunnels connecting.
Why
all
was it
these
miles
huge
away though? Why not
complexes.
make it like right there?
Well, this area was the Gobekli Tepe area was huge, and it wasn't just Gobekli Tepe. Next, about an hour from Gobekli Tepe, where these 24. So you need a lot of space because they were building new ones every 100 years or so, right? And it went on for over 1,000 years that they were building these
Oh, so they left room because they're like, we might have
for
to
growth,
build right here.
of course. So they left room for growth. About an hour from Gobekli Tepe is this other area that was dug out of the bedrock for ceremonial purposes. They believe that because it's just this huge open area. It doesn't have these things. It's not tracking serious. It's these big open areas to fit hundreds of people at a time in these areas.
Yeah.
So it was probably for ceremonial purposes. There even seems to be evidence that they were maybe using a sacrifice of some kind into a certain area.
That's crazy.
So there was some blood sacrifice possible there. Also,
Before you
Yeah.
say, don't forget though, because I really want you to say it. I do need to let the audience know Guys, before we move forward, please hit that like button. We appreciate it so very much.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying anything that you've heard so far, if you have learned or if we have said anything that you have never heard before, hit that like button. That's all we ask. And we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
We'll keep researching. We'll keep talking to you. We'll keep giving you the goods, baby. Just if you'd be so kind as to hit the like button. And if you do want to become a member, if you do want to visit the Patreon, that is all just icing on the cake, baby. But we appreciate you. Hit that like button. And we hope you're enjoying what you're seeing so far. We got a lot more good stuff coming up about a lot of cool different things.
Right?
Yeah. And don't forget, this episode is leading to episode 100 that is in 2 weeks from now that will tie everything together. So everything you're hearing, it's leading somewhere.
Yeah.
And this is taking a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you're going to appreciate the heck out of it. 2 years in the making, baby. So thank you so much. Let's get back to the show.
Cool.
Sorry, so you were saying.
Yeah, so there was these big ceremonial areas, and they made that about an hour's drive again. So they probably walked quite a ways.
Oh yeah, that's a walk.
So they made
trek.
sure they left room for more growth in Gobekli Tepe area, and then there's this other area for ceremonial purposes. The entrance when you walk in is this huge snake with the head of a man that has this glaring evil look on its face.
You're doing this great.
Yeah,
What did it look like? Yeah, that's hella what it looked like.
So when you walk in, you had to confront this snake head that was a man's
man
face.
head with a snake body.
And we've heard stories of a part man, part serpent who brought destruction in other parts of the world too. So there might be some connections there.
Well,
We're
we can go back to Adam and Eve, baby. The devil took on the form of a snake.
Mesoamerica. So all of these underground cities that were made, obviously, in my opinion, for refuge from the next cataclysm, they were all connected by underground tunnels.
Yeah.
And
what else would they be used for? I mean, let's be honest here. Hey, you want to spend all these fucking hours
worst thing it could be used
underground?
for, and what their original theory was, was for combat, to hide from another army.
Yeah.
Right? All of our people hide.
Viet
Worst
Cong
case
shit,
scenario.
and then they pop up.
All they have to do is close the door,
machine
and then you
guns.
all starve to death, and it's over. Right? Like you have no supply line. You have.
Yeah. Oh, they're in there. That's where they
now
are.
you can't
so
leave.
Let's seal it.
Yep, done.
That was
now we
cute.
have your land. We have everything, and you don't even. Yeah, you can't fight back.
Hold on. Let me open the airproof chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. And they're like,
Yeah.
seal.
That's it. So yeah, using it
CTB,
to hide
what's up, dude? Look at CTB's
from an army is a bad idea.
membership badge.
Badge?
That means she's been for like more than
It's
5
gold.
months or something.
You've got a gold badge.
I know
That's sick.
She's a
at her.
bastard.
Yeah.
A bastard. A badass.
So now, because we're talking secrets of the underground, the ancient underground, we have some ancient underground cities. We have these ancient underground warning temples, if you will. Let's talk about underground tunnels. We find a lot of these. They didn't just connect underground cities, but they were also built to connect huge land masses underground for probably the same reason.
I just saw a video on YouTube of these guys. They're like, oh, we're just hiking and we saw this cool thing. It seems to be a pretty deep tunnel.
Yeah.
And like throw their like 200-foot rope down there and it just keeps going to the very end.
Yeah.
They go down. It's just giant cave, this giant cavern.
We find a
was
lot of
amazing.
those.
I also have a cool story about the president of El Salvador that I'll
Cool.
talk about later. But sorry, go on. I have ADHD. What's up? Hi, guys.
So underground tunnel systems have been found in Scotland, Wales, the Sahara, the Mediterranean. I have a video I want to play. Mesopotamia, Asia, China, like everywhere.
All over.
Underground tunnel systems and underground cities everywhere in the
And
world.
your thought process here is that these are built as refuge
Yes.
for cataclysms.
Yeah, in the ancient world.
All over the
And they all pop up at the same time. And so that means somebody with this knowledge went to the survivors of this cataclysm and showed them architecture and technology.
A little shy of 12,000 years ago.
Exactly. And it all happens, and they all tell the same story, like we discussed earlier. They all say someone came out of the ocean, out of the water, out of the sea. It's always that. They come out of the ocean. That's why they're represented half man, half fish.
Yeah.
So they had the technology to, because of the flood,
And 7
survive
sages?
the flood.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, this one, the Gobekli Tepe,
I know
they
like
have the
12
7
disciples.
sages.
Okay.
Yeah, but everybody has like no. It's usually like in Mesoamerica. There's the one guy who was half snake, half man. I think a Quetzalcoatl. Oh, half bird, half man. But
Dude,
he shows up on a strange device they don't understand
fiery
in the
dragon
water,
or
out of the water.
something.
So in Asia, it's a dragon. He shows up on the back of a dragon, right? So I want to play this video here. This talks about some underground tunnels. First, England, we're going to talk about, because I think this is super interesting. It was discovered during World War II.
Did you know that recent discoveries in Antarctica might link ancient mythologies with...
We just played the one before, bud.
We didn't.
In the 1940s, under the dusk sky of Naples, fearing for his life, local resident Giovanni Blanco sought shelter from the terrifying bombings and explosions as the British began their assault during World War II. In his desperation, Giovanni cleared away the undergrowth in his garden. Recalling a story his grandfather had told him, he gazed into what appeared to be the passageway from the story that had fascinated him as a child. Quickly lighting a lantern and calling for his dog Bella, together they descended into the depths below. As they reached a juncture in the vast underground maze, he realized this was more than just a temporary refuge. Incredibly, Giovanni had stumbled upon an ancient labyrinth of underground tunnels and chambers dating back over 2,400 years. These tunnels were first carved out by the ancient Greeks in the 5th century BC. Centuries later, after the Roman invasion, the tunnels were expanded upon and used as vast aqueducts to channel water to the city.
So that's what they think. When they were built, that's when they think. That's what they think they were used for. And I'm sure at some point they were used for these things. But dating the actual creation of these underground tunnels is impossible. They don't know. They can date materials they find in there, so maybe organic materials, or they find like a wooden axe handle or something. So that's how they use it for dating. But the ancient Greeks, they might not have built it. They might have used it, but they might not have built it. It could date way further back. But this is under Europe.
It's sort of like potentially with the pyramids.
Exactly. We can make educated guesses, but we can't date the actual stone.
Look at who's here, McKenna, and yes, we are live.
There she is. Welcome back.
What kind of intro is that, dude? That's dope.
And we had talked about Atlantis having a city that was possibly now under Antarctica's ice sheet. And since you played the video already, we might as well finish it out.
Since I played the video, relax. I played 2 seconds by accident.
Tunnels discovered under Antarctica. So there was people there carving out refuge in Antarctica.
Did you know that recent discoveries in Antarctica might link ancient mythologies with modern science? Researchers have uncovered vast tunnel networks beneath the Antarctic
Dude, there's huge
comparable in
tunnel
height to the Eiffel Tower. Some theorists believe these tunnels could be connected to the
too,
Ajiji, the ancient deities in Mesopotamian mythology, and the Anunnaki, who were said to use underground structures. These discoveries open up fascinating possibilities about our planet's hidden past and its connections to ancient legends. Stay tuned for more mind-blowing revelations.
So cool. So we're finding these ancient cities in Turkey, right?
Yeah.
In the cradle of civilization, we're finding these ancient tunnel systems with these huge aqueduct areas for flowing water.
Greece, England.
In England, Asia, China. There was a discovery made recently.
Wasn't that one the one that I played?
We did Antarctica. We did England. We haven't done
Didn't
China.
They just say Greece?
They said the ancient Greeks used it. Yeah.
Used it.
Yeah. But in China, there was a tunnel system found that was about 1 million cubic tons of rock removed and excavated out of these to create these tunnel systems.
That sounds like so much work.
I have a picture of what it looks like. It's called the Stone City.
Yeah,
And this,
aptly named.
Still not fully excavated, but in China, they were building these underground cities as well. So yeah, check this thing out.
What's it called?
That's the entrance they found.
Oh, what the deuce? What the deuce? Okay, wait.
Houchengzui.
Where's that zoomed in
City.
from? Which part of this map is that zoomed in on?
So this is all that they've excavated so far. I think they're showing overhead pictures of different enclosures under the ground.
So that isn't a zoom in,
And that is
beneath
that's
is
the entrance.
zoom in.
They found an entrance, and that's what it looks like, and that's how they discovered the tunnels that go underneath the ground. So this is kind of like a part LiDAR picture with, and they're trying to show you.
So a lot of this stuff is
openings.
underground.
It's all underground.
All of this stuff's
All
underground.
of this is underground.
That's the entrance
That's what the
to
doorway
what
is.
this is.
Exactly.
Oh,
The entire
what?
complex is underground.
What's this penis-shaped thing? What is that?
Removing 1 million. Yeah.
What is that?
It's,
A pool?
It could be.
Is it a did they have a jacuzzi?
Dude, they had all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they had bath areas. They had, like I said, they had little mini churches for worship down there. But that's the stone doorway that they uncovered.
I don't have a
that
jacuzzi.
led them under. Like I said, so far in what they've excavated, 1 million cubic tons of rock had been removed to create this. That is a huge.
Who taught them
undertaking.
how to do this? Especially, who taught them how to build a jacuzzi?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. Nobody knows. There's just the legends, right? Just the legends.
Dude, calling
So,
it a jacuzzi is the best.
The Longyu Caves is the next picture. I wanted to show this because, like they were saying in the chat, there are these massive cave systems. Some of them have their own ecosystems that we find, but here's one that's in China. Look how
This is a real
beautiful this
picture?
is.
What
This
the
is real. Look at how beautiful this is. This is an underground cave
That looks
system.
like a modern staircase.
A dwelling of some
No,
kind.
yeah, it obviously
and
is.
and it has probably rooms and all kinds of areas for saving livestock.
Bro, look at the carvings on the wall. The
Cool.
carvings on the wall.
Yeah.
Carvings on the wall.
I got some really cool carvings we're about to look at in a second. So this is China. So what about North America?
What about North America?
Yeah, or Mesoamerica. Let's go to the Americas. I want to talk about a tribe called the Hopi. Have you heard of the Hopi natives?
I was gonna make a dumb pun. No, I have not. No.
I
hope you're about to tell me. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. So the Hopi have a very interesting origin story. So there was an ancient cataclysm that restarted the earth.
What?
And wiped the earth clean. And their people were saved by what were called the Ant-People. The Ant-People saved them. Okay. And I have pictures of the Ant-People. They drew them on these petroglyphs. And let's look at those petroglyphs of the Ant-People.
The Ant-People?
Yeah. It's a weird name,
saved
right?
them from the cataclysm or taught them?
They
Okay.
came up from inside the ground and they brought them into their safe house, their enclosure in the earth to help them survive the cataclysm. And when it was safe on the surface, they let them go back up.
This is the Mothman? Wait. Those are all ant people?
So it looks like some
Humans and then one
shaman
giant
and
ant
priest
person?
of some kind. Go down to the next picture. It's very
I don't know if I
ant-like.
want to, dude.
Now, did they actually look like this? And what do these look like?
The aliens,
Right,
brother.
straight up, they do. And they say that the ant people have a connection to the Sirius star system. And the Hopi had a very intricate knowledge of the Sirius star
So
system.
this is North America?
Yeah, this is the Hopi tribe. It's
Jenna
wild.
Nels, what up? Hey.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
So but they're called the ant people. Did they actually look like this? We don't know. Is this a representation of them because they lived underground? What are ants famous for doing? They create intricate tunnel systems underground. That's what they do. Yeah. That's what ants do, right? They build ant farms. Yeah. And these people had a city underground that they brought the Hopi Indian tribe into
and they got
saved
little
them.
Antenna.
Yeah, they gave them like ant antennas. Maybe they really look like that.
Antenna.
There you go.
We put it together.
Antennae.
Why? No need for episode 100 anymore. We put it all together just now. Antenna.
So I think they might have called them the ant people because of their ability to build vast underground cities. And again, that is their lore, is that these ant people saved the few Hopi they could from annihilation during the Cataclysm, the Younger Dryas Cataclysm, by bringing them into their underground city. And they taught them agriculture, rule of law, architecture, everything that they say.
So why have I never heard of these ant people before?
I'm surprised you haven't. The Hopi, let's play this next video. Like I said, I think they call them the ant people because of their ability to build underground cities like ants. But
they could
very well
look
be like that. Yeah, what if they did?
Toths, homie.
They said the Hopi say they were from the Sirius star system. Now, is that something that got lost in translation because we were tracking the Sirius star system because that's where the Cataclysm came from? Or did they come from space?
Did they tell them that?
Yeah. We don't know.
Look at the so-called...
But this is their current belief system in the Hopi. They believe that aliens, called ant people from the Sirius star system, saved them from annihilation by bringing them to an underground city.
Oh, I know this guy.
Look at the so-called underground cities of Turkey. That there are huge cities. They look like ant farms on an enormous scale that are dug out under the earth. Hundreds and hundreds of rooms. That huge efforts was put into digging deep beneath the earth and creating these shelters. And archaeology does not have a good explanation about what they're there for.
But hold on, look at that picture.
Oh, wow.
That's sort of like what we were looking at with the Derinkuyu. That's exactly what it is.
It is, yeah. It's meant to be Derinkuyu.
I can't wait to read the chat, but yeah, let me finish this.
Or why they were built, or when they were built. They're all cut out of stone. You can only date objects that were left in them. You can't say when they were actually made.
Right.
What makes sense of those underground cities to me is that they were built as places of refuge that people could go into during an episode of meteor bombardment during the Younger Dryas.
Absolutely.
Because there wasn't just the one 12,800 years ago. There were multiple episodes over the next 1,200 years. It makes sense that these underground cities were built as places of shelter, not as places to hide from an invading army. The last place you want to go if you have an invading army is to go hide underground. Where you all they have to do is block up the entrances. They don't even have to fight you. But if you're dealing with a periodic event which will be over in a couple of weeks, they're great places to retreat into.
Dude.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
So you get rid of that. Yeah. So I think the Ant People might have been dubbed the Ant People because of their underground city, but maybe they were from Sirius and from the Sirius star system and they were extraterrestrial. I don't know.
I will
say this: in episode 100, we will try and answer that question. I'm not going to answer it today.
So you gotta watch episode 100,
right,
baby.
So
and by the way,
chat. But I have more about the Ant People.
Yeah. But I will make a playlist of. I'm not sure what we're gonna call it yet because I don't want to spoil anything. But or I just haven't thought of it yet. We're gonna make a playlist of all the essential watching after we do episode 100.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think so.
And we'll do links and all that. We'll make it easy for you guys.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, so GL said, where is the mountain of rock they dug out? Yeah, where are all the rocks? You said they had how many cubic tons?
Over 1 million cubic tons of rock.
Where is it? Yeah. Where's the giant pile?
Maybe they used it for other things, or it's on the surface.
Where's the pile?
You're talking 11,000 years of erosion. Where are they? Eroding. Good question. What do they use it for?
And then, Jay.
I think he's hinting towards a technology. Is with that comment did they use some sort of technology to just
zap it away? Yeah.
To just dig through. Something we don't know.
And then Chase, he said in this voice,
funny how they could draw animals and objects so accurately, but when it comes to people, quote unquote, they look like this and other crazy things.
It's Maybe a really good they point. Are accurately depicted.
But we all know how Chase, he's been on the show. We know he sounds like this.
Funny how they could draw animals and objects so accurately.
No. Yeah. Chase is the man. And then we have McKenna saying, the lovely, beautiful, amazing McKenna saying, I think it looks like people that were warriors that wear masks. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if those were masks?
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking that. I was actually thinking, what if these are like extraterrestrials wearing masks?
Could be.
Or perhaps future humans.
Or if there's a cataclysm on the earth.
Atlanteans.
And there's dust kicked up everywhere and particulates in the air. They needed something to be able to breathe to bring the Hopi down. And they covered their face with something.
And maybe because it's like a front-on view, you can't tell. But if they were to turn to the side, maybe it looks like a plague mask.
Who knows? Which there's a plague episode we did where we talked about there could be a link between.
Speaking of links, I'll put one right here. And yes, I always put them here.
God
just only shows up on
pantheons,
desktops and stuff sometimes.
And the
maybe
plague.
not on mobile, but I'll put a link here. I promise.
Yeah. What else is interesting about the Ant People?
And then, McKenna said interesting at Chase, and then CTB said, "Whoa!" She put exclamation points, but I'm assuming she meant "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Okay.
So that maybe maybe it is a mask, McKenna, because what was interesting about the Ant People is they had a very specific technology that the Hopi talked about, and the technology is something you might recognize. So
we do have a news segment we must get to quite soon.
Okay, they had the ability to move giant stone and shape rock by whistling. They said. That's the Hopi said that they would use sound and vibration.
We know that sound and vibration
to move and shape stone. That's how they built these underground cities. They were also able to travel great distances on what they called flying shields. So these are round craft that could fly at high speed, and that's what saved a lot of the people from the Cataclysm. Was they were going from place to place in these flying shields and bringing them into underground cities to save them.
And you know what's crazy? To tie it to something we talked about before also. Yeah. Remember when I told you that remote viewer who, little did he know, was talking to an alien from 1 million years in the past on Mars, was saying that we are waiting for our people to come back and let us know where our new home is because the elements ruined. We have no food, no nothing. Yeah. So we're just waiting in these pyramids.
Right.
So what if they learned how to do this stuff by their own because it happened to them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this stuff happened to them and they're like, oh, humans, dude, this shit sucks. I know. Check it out. Here's what we did.
And they were already underground. So they must have known about before this so Gobekli Tepe was memorializing the flood cataclysm. But according to the ancient Egyptians, there were 2 more cataclysms before that. Right?
Yeah.
So whatever group these ant people are, they could have been survivors of the cataclysm prior. And that's why they were still underground and lived there. And their technology.
Yeah. D-Lever asked a good question. He said, hey, D-Lever, what up, boy? With your badge. Yep. He said, did you say how they lit up these tunnels?
So,
what, using like lanterns and stuff?
So what? To this day, we don't have a good explanation of how they could see in these dark tunnels. Because so in Derinkuyu,
it's a great question.
People used those tunnels in more recent centuries. And so there are burn marks from torches and things like that.
Lanterns.
But in a lot of these underground cities, when they're first discovered, there is no soot, there's no burn marks. In the pyramids, there are no evidence of burning torches where they drew these beautiful murals on the walls. So there, some form of light or electricity is.
Well,
theorized.
Tesla didn't have burn marks anywhere either.
Right.
He was using energy, a wireless energy, dude.
There's a story of archaeologists that went into these underground chambers near the Giza Plateau. And when they walked in, there was this glass tube on the wall that lit up as they walked in. And it scared the locals that were his guides so much, they ran out of there. And then it turned off. And he tried touching it or whatever to try to get it to turn back and never turn back on again. But for a short period of time, it seemed like it had lighting where once it sensed motion.
And you know what it was? It wasn't even them because that's why they couldn't get it to turn back on. It was the guides because the guides had in their genes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What about something like that? That's
how does it know? How did it know there were people there and it needed to turn on? And
descendant of Geo.
Interesting, right? But that's a real story from a renowned archaeologist, and he could never get it to turn back on. So they might have had some sort of electricity. These ant people, they had something. They were able to move stones and shape them and carve out of the bedrock using whistling.
But that's literally
whistling noise.
How they think they built the pyramid. A lot of people think
vibration and frequency. Yeah. You can mold and change and rock.
Still to this day they use it to meditate.
The Jedi from ancient Egypt. Yep, they would use sound and vibration to lift heavy stones and create the pyramids. That's what they believe.
Dude.
So there is something there. We know that you can use sound and vibration to lift things. We do it now. There's experiments going on in labs. You can YouTube it. People use speakers and sound waves to lift things. It is possible.
The best thing ever is the scene in Private Parts. It's like, did you have one of those big speakers? I don't know how Howard Stern talks. Do you have one of those big speakers? And he literally makes a woman climax.
Ride it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a funny scene.
So funny, dude.
That's such a good movie, dude. Anyone who watches
it's way better than it should be.
It's like, whoa, yeah, you made a great film. And it was a crack team put it together.
You made a total bango.
So what did the Hopi say happened to the ant people, and why aren't they still interacting with us today?
Yeah.
So after they saved them and the flying shields were being used by the people they saved, they said that some of the people were using the flying shields to wage war on other people and to hurt people, and they were using them as weapons. And once the technology they had started being used as weapons, they took it away, and they said, the Earth's been destroyed once by fire. It's been destroyed once by ice, and it will happen again. And when the time is right and you're ready, we will come back. And they receded back into their underground world, and that's it. And they left the Hopi on the surface.
Gio just made a great comment.
Yeah,
they made batteries back then.
They did. We know they had batteries.
The Afghanistan. Yeah. What is that called?
We just don't know what the mechanism was that lit up. We don't have any. And glass disappears after a couple hundred years. It's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just through natural means.
Crazy.
So, in summary. right after the last ice age, humanity started tracking when the end of the world was going to happen again.
Can I do scary music in the background
Sure,
when
yeah.
I say this? You think
Sure.
that'll work? All right.
Yeah, so right after the last ice age, we started tracking when the end of the world could possibly happen again. We started building structures to track a certain asteroid belt. That could be the way the first their cataclysm affected their great grandfathers or great grandparents. We also started building underground bunkers and structures. The warnings to this cataclysm are controlled now by the World Economic Forum, who doesn't want to further excavate. The Hall of Records under the pyramids are being protected by the government in Egypt. They're not allowing any excavation of the Hall of Records.
The Egyptian government, they're so secretive.
Citing national security. So is there more warnings in this Hall of Records? Is there more to this? Maybe. So
sure.
I've noticed a lot of billionaires have been building bunkers recently. So the World Economic Forum,
Elon Musk, I know, was trying
all
to
of them,
build.
Zuckerberg, all of them, they're all building bunkers.
Yeah. Also, the Colorado airport, the Denver airport has that giant bunker like underneath
Right,
it.
but I mean, we've heard in the news that all these billionaires are building underground bunkers. And the World Economic Forum is taking control over excavation of the site that warns us of when this might happen. Egypt's government is hiding any evidence of the Hall of Records that might have evidence of when this might happen. Do they know when this is coming, and are they preparing? And are they preparing the way that our ancient ancestors did? Again, there's not enough room for everybody. And so they had to...
Airtight doors being sealed on you, baby.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So what are we looking at? Is there something coming? And do we need to excavate at Gobekli Tepe to find out? Let me know what you think. Is there an actual impending apocalypse that our ancient ancestors have been warning us about for thousands of years? Who buried it and why? Why are they keeping it buried? I don't know. But these are questions we're going to answer in episode 100.
Well done.
Yeah.
A lot of questions answered, a lot of questions posed.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I can't wait to know more.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what else ties into this episode 100.
Yeah. Who are the ant people?
Who are the ant people?
Yeah. How'd they have that
Why
technology?
are the ant people? Where are the ant people now?
That's
Are
interesting.
you an ant person?
They said we weren't ready, and they'll be back when we are.
Yeah.
So
well, you guys know what time it is. First of all, Jared, great segment. We're very well done.
thank you.
Anybody who enjoyed that, make sure you hit the like button. And now, everybody's favorite segment, before we get to the why so, me, we're going to do everybody's favorite seg, what I like to call the news segment. Who's ready? I'm ready. Let's get it. Let's go. Baby!
Yes. It's the news. Hold on. Yep, man on the ground now. There he is. Man on the ground.
Man on the ground, man on the ground.
Gentlemen, what a pleasure. It's been too long.
It's been too long, sir. Happy to have you.
So you've been globe-trotting. We could barely get
couple
you.
of countries, bit of the Olympics, a bit of the south
You
of
were in
France.
France?
but here
Yeah, I know.
Those would have been great news segments, but the time
just
difference.
saying. Just say time difference, time difference.
No,
Okay,
it's a big time difference.
yeah, I guess it's a very good
It's
point.
big. It's be like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And
Which I'm good
We'll
until
do it
3.
live.
But hey, 4.
Yeah.
Four's
Four's
the
pushing it.
best.
Man on the ground is asleep.
yeah, let's cut to the man on the ground now.
Wait, I guess anyway, I was going to say, talk about not using tunnels. Hamas, I think, disagreed with that whole philosophy of having war from tunnels. But hey, that's another story.
Yeah. So, we're talking the greatest things. We're talking about, I don't know why I'm doing Trump, but we're talking about Gobekli Tepe. I can't pronounce it. But
Secrets
some
of the
greatest
ancient
stuff.
underground.
Buried secrets.
I know. I've been listening. It's very fascinating.
Everybody
It's always great
says-
stuff.
Wild
It always
stuff.
sounds
Everybody
interesting.
says this
And by
show
the
is the
way,
best
I'm just going to
secrets.
say, and it's on my own, and whatever. But as I scroll around and see things, why is everybody stealing your content? I see all these
Great
podcasts
question,
stealing
dude. Great question.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be an episode about this coming up somewhere
Yeah, I
soon.
know. I just sent Jared something today.
I mean, I don't think they do it word for word, but pretty damn close sometimes.
I just sent something Jared today where it literally almost was word for word.
Yeah, that was.
And I was very upset.
That's an old one of ours too.
And it's one of our most successful.
That's true. It was one of our biggest.
And it's like pinned at the top of everything.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But fortunately, nobody wants to steal the news. So.
Well, they don't have the news. So
they don't got it. They don't got it.
That's
You know
right.
how funny it'd be if they're like,
man on the ground.
Sorry.
I don't know why it's been on my mind. I just want to talk a little bit about the ISS. A little bit about the space station.
Yes, we were talking about that fairly recently.
Poor people.
Well, yeah. What the hell happened here? Wait, hold on a second.
All right.
Man on the ground.
Man on the ground.
Difficulties. Satellite coming back into
We're talking. Yeah.
now.
So we're talking about. What are we talking about? Some of the greatest stuff. All right. What do we got?
They say it was the best city.
The best underground city. The best. All right. So what do we got?
Anyway, so a little bit. And some stuff you've heard this stuff again. I don't know. I haven't gotten too in depth with it because I keep hearing about it. It just keeps troubling me. But anyway, so back in September last year, and you probably know this, there was an American astronaut. His name was Frank Rubio, and 2 Russian cosmonauts.
Yeah.
They traveled on the Soyuz spacecraft to the ISS in September last year. They're meant to use that same craft to return, but it was damaged by, and Jared, I know you love this, by a micrometeoroid.
There you go. It's dangerous up there. You gotta have.
It's a tiny speck of dust, but it travels so quickly that it can damage the spaceship.
Crazy.
So they were there in September. This was discovered last December when they saw coolant spraying out of the tiny hole it created.
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
And it's not major coolant, but it's the coolant they use to keep the crew comfortable. Right, without it goes over 100 degrees inside the craft. And
Unbearable. Yeah. Was it Las Vegas?
So they decided, here's what they're going to do. They're going to send another Soyuz craft up there, empty. Then they'll send the damaged one back empty so they can study it.
Yeah.
Then they'll send a crew up there.
Yeah.
And when the new crew can replace the old crew, then the old crew can come back.
Yeah.
So they end up spending many, many months more than they planned to. By the way, to make matters worse. Yeah, but to make matters worse, they found a small leak of air in the ISS. And they thought they'd have to send a special delivery of air to keep the crew alive until they fixed it. But and they were planning to, and they were going to send up leak detectors. What do you think they would have put up?
You know what's funny is there's so many, especially recently, there's so many theories that the ISS actually doesn't exist and that all the footage is fake. How funny if they were overcompensating for those theories by pretending to have all these issues. It's Apollo 13 up here, guys.
On this one, and maybe that's geologic. August 31st, 3 days ago, they found the leak and they fixed it with a special tape.
Oh, good.
Resistant to
special duct tape.
Have you ever heard of Gorilla Tape?
That's right. It's duct tape. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But that's just one story. So now you know the other story. Now on June 5th this year, the Boeing Starliner was launched to the ISS.
Great idea.
There was some minor helium leaks which affect their thrusters, but they said, no, it's okay, we're fine. There's 24 thrusters. There's only 8 of them, whatever.
Yeah.
So they let the mission go. They're supposed to be up there for 8 days and come back, cancel the return.
Yeah. Wait,
and
the
now
return?
They're investigating. They don't want to come back until they find out what all the issues are, so we don't have a return date yet. These guys might be up there till next year.
Miserable.
Although they know if anything goes really bad, as a last resort, NASA can return the astronauts on a SpaceX capsule, which Boeing's got enough problems on Earth.
Yeah,
there's no way Boeing is ready. SpaceX.
Yeah, you want to know the two things? The two things you don't want to hear when you're up in space: air leak.
Yeah,
and stay up there longer.
Yeah. Come on.
Jeez.
It's so unhealthy to be in space, too.
My body's atrophied.
Maybe I'm in a different place than you, Cameron, but I don't want to hear that the Boeing ship failed.
The
so
Boeing is
going to save you.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is pencil whip the space shuttle. Like, you know what I mean? The inspector's like, I'm sure it's all fine. It worked in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. 30 of these thrusters don't work, but 8 do. Let's do it, baby. Check. We're good.
Yeah, we're fine.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
This sound
anyway,
effect.
I know. So I used to, growing up, I always thought of maybe going to space and I don't think so much anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm not feeling it so much.
Well, you know what? You're not the only one.
I like Maverick doing like the curvature of the Earth flight when he hits like 11 Gs.
But you're not the only one, guys. So, Les, I know that when they ask kids, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? You know, what do you want to be?" They don't say astronaut anymore. It's more TikToker.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a TikToker.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Space Force is cool. Maybe if they would have given that funding to NASA and just expanded NASA, they wouldn't have broken ships.
But Space Force is a much better.
Why? So, dude, if sand destroyed this, why? How did we figure this out in the 60s? How did we get to the moon and back over and over again? And we're having these little problems.
Lucky.
Just orbiting Earth. We're having all these issues. It's just crazy.
There were, to use the phrase, so many unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
They try to contemplate all of them. But I think really it was just fucking guts.
Yeah, they were just mavericks. They just said, let's just do it. Let's just,
They're like, you know what?
Up there.
Screw it. Turn the camera on. We're going to space.
Just strap me to a rocket.
Guts and luck. But
Call Kubrick.
You know,
we're going to
guys
the
who
moon.
fly, have you ever seen a bomber, like a fighter pilot going into a bomber? This thing is a tube of gasoline with bombs strapped to the wings, flying over people, shooting at them. I think maybe the space thing isn't such a far reach.
True.
How cool, though. Those guys are the best.
No, those guys,
like the Top Gun
God bless them,
pilots are
because
so
I could
badass.
never.
Yeah.
I love the guys. So these Top Gun pilots, they're such great trained observers. They can tell like if it's an enemy aircraft or a friendly aircraft miles away just with their eyes. And then they see a UFO, and some guy who's never even flown a plane tells them they're wrong about what they saw. Yeah.
You're looking at Venus.
It was your instruments were off that day. No, dude. Like I do this for a living. I have thousands of hours in a fighter jet. You know how hard it is jerking that thing around for hours and with all the sensors.
Would you tell Michael Phelps
HUD?
that was a backstroke, not a butterfly stroke?
Exactly.
I don't think
these guys are great. Like, no, you didn't. It was the camera rotating.
I was talking to a fighter pilot once, and I said, I love when they do the map of the Earth. He said, let me tell you something about map of the Earth stuff. He said, imagine, the speed you're at, you're Mach 2, right?
Yeah.
And rifle bullet speed. And if you're a couple hundred feet above the ground, how long does it take to hit the ground?
Not long at all.
It's a blink.
Yeah.
Right. He said, so maintaining that, he said, that is intense.
Inverted.
Trying to draw. There's a mountain.
Inverted, man. Come on. These guys are so cool.
Insane. I could never be a pilot.
I love these guys.
Just the what's it called? The claustrophobia.
I like the HUD. Dude, that's like a dream of mine. If I could fly, if I could fly planes, I would fly. I love it. I love the flipping and the spinning and the shutting the engine off and turning it back on before you crash type stuff. I love it.
I want to do that in a car. Is there a position in the military where I could, like, not a tank because that's a little claustrophobic?
Yeah, you could be a drone truck driver. There you go. That's scary stuff. Yeah,
I want to be one of them.
That's a scary job,
RFK Sun's job.
I'm glad you guys are doing this. By the way, I just wanted to mention, just for the record here, the longest time in space was a NASA astronaut, the second longest, who worked on the ISS 355 days.
It's a long time.
That was from April 2021 to 2022. But there was a Russian cosmonaut back in 1994.
Yeah.
437 consecutive days on the Mir space station, which is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. It's actually torturous.
It's miserable. Yeah, it sounds like
torture.
Can't I just pee normally? Like all the little things you take for granted.
What about the guys that heard space music on the dark side of the moon?
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Scary.
Terrifying.
Ever.
And for no reason at all, I'm just going to mention this. If you listen to, what's his name? Tyson, what's his name?
Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson.
Miles Dyson?
No, the physicist.
Tyson.
Neil deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse, that's one, yeah. So I never knew this, but he said, it's not that there's no gravity in space. The reason you're weightless in space is because you're falling towards something.
That's so cool.
If you weren't falling, you'd have gravity. When they put on the engines, you have gravity. You're not falling anymore.
That's great. That's insane.
He's giving me a lot of good
enough
tidbits.
All this stuff.
I love
That's
that.
my fear of the new space station and the duct tape that they're holding it freaking together.
Yeah.
So no news from space anytime soon.
Yeah, shit.
That's right. That's right. But hey,
as always,
jokes.
You got jokes.
Listen, I'm a little tentative about some of these jokes.
I was gonna say,
but I was gonna say, everybody says you've got the best jokes. Yeah. Everybody says. I'm working on my Trump. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. It's getting there. Okay, it's getting there.
Okay, and Cameron, you know this. Why do they use MacBooks only in space?
Viruses.
No, you can't open Windows.
You
so great.
son of a bitch. That was a good one.
Well, you could.
Okay. A little sexist, misogynistic joke here. Okay, so there's a female astronaut, and she calls her base. Okay. Houston, we have a problem.
Female astronaut.
What is it?
I'm sorry, I'm crazy. Okay.
What? I didn't tell the joke.
I know.
Houston.
My joke was.
Houston, we have a.
No fucking way. Yeah, we do. Houston, we have a problem. You got to repeat that because it cut out.
Did you do that on purpose? Because that's hilarious.
That would have been genius.
So
there's a female astronaut.
Calls the base and says, Houston, we have a problem. Base says, what is it? The female astronaut says, oh, nothing.
That's great.
That's the joke.
That's genius.
Fucking genius.
That's so funny.
Thank you.
No, are you okay? Oh no, I'm fine.
You should have already known what the problem was.
Are you sure you're upset? Yeah, you're sure not upset?
Don't worry about it.
The fact I had to tell you there was a problem is the problem.
Yeah. But you told me you were fine.
Anyway.
That's great.
And of course.
Oh, nothing.
You heard
That's great. Sorry.
That same female astronaut broke the law of gravity. But she got a suspended sentence.
That's good.
Okay.
Broke the law of gravity. Oh, clever. She's suspended in air.
And of course, as we know, despite space being a huge vacuum, Mars is really dusty.
Stupid.
Okay. Yeah, it's terrible dusty.
That's good.
No worries. All right, my last joke. That's it. I'm done. It's a little bit long, but here we go. So, Sherlock Holmes. This is right up your alley. Sherlock Holmes and Watson are camping on a case, and they're investigating. After putting up a tent, having a dinner, a bottle of wine, they go to sleep. In the middle of the night, Holmes wakes up. He nudges Watson. Look up at the sky. Tell me what you see, Holmes says. Watson says, I see millions of stars. And Holmes says, and what do you deduce from that? Well, Watson says, it tells you there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. And somewhere in the universe with so many billions of stars, similar to the sun, there's a high probability that these stars have Earth-like planets. And it could be typical, and they may be intelligent life.
And Holmes says no.
And Holmes is silent for a moment, and then he says, quite. But the immediate concern is, where's our tent?
That's great. As always, sir, thank you so much. What a lovely call. What great jokes.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Have a good night. Man on the ground. That's the best. Oh, nothing.
Yeah. Houston, we have a problem. What is it? Oh, nothing.
That's genius.
You should have already known.
Yeah.
Oh, women. No, yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah.
So, great, Ancient Mysterious.
Yeah.
Great new segment.
Yeah.
I got a lot to live up to here, man.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Let's do it.
We'll shoot for the stars, pun intended.
Meme it. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, what do I meme?
Yeah.
What am I talking about here?
I mean,
if there's going to be something that is the name of this segment just based off who it is, it would have to be Why So Meme. And look at that. We got Kenny Copeland. We got Raygun. We got Lil Tay. We got Danielle Bergoli. We got Charlie, you bit my finger. Anyway, you've seen all those. So, Jared.
Yeah.
Did you know that Chase Mack just with the donation? Hit us with the donation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
He said, this has been an awesome episode so far. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You're an awesome episode.
Yeah,
You're an awesome episode. But so for this Why So Meme, we're talking about Jojo Siwa. Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I've heard of this person, yeah.
So, Jojo Siwa was got her career start on Dance Moms.
That's right.
She was one of the little girls.
That's how I know her.
I can dance. And her mom's like, yeah.
My daughter was addicted to that show. She's actually on a trip to go drive by the dance studio and take a picture of it. Like that's like her biggest goal on this trip.
Oh.
Yeah. Really? She loves that show.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So does my fiance. She loves the show. Dude.
I've never seen it, so I can't speak on it. I just know that this person is miserable.
Is she?
Dude, so she was a child star, right?
Yeah.
And
her mom was rough, man.
Well, it's dance moms. I'm sure she wasn't like, sweetie, you give it your best shot, so that's all that matters.
And Jojo was like a star. People loved her. She was like a fan favorite.
So no, she literally like built an empire from wearing her little bows to sparkly shit, right?
Yeah.
But, it happens with every child star where they get to a point where they're not a child anymore.
Right.
And so they got to switch it up.
Yeah, I guess she grew up, huh?
She grew up. She's not frozen in time. Yeah. It happens. So she's like 21 years old now. Yeah.
Oh my
Is
God.
that weird?
Yeah.
And
now
I
just started. We just watched the show like a year ago.
Yeah. And she, so she's dating. She started like
Justin Bieber
judging
or something.
No, she's lesbian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she's been on like a bunch of dance shows and stuff. And
okay.
She was the judge, and she started dating contestants. Conflict of interest, probably. Yeah. And
she was dating Raygun during the Olympic trials.
She is the husband that they're referring to who rigged the.
That'd be the best.
That would be the best or the worst.
She's part of the conspiracy.
Yeah. So let's hear a little bit about Yo-Yo.
Yeah, let's see where she is now. I'm actually very interested because I did watch the show.
That's so great.
When she left the dance company, I remember being like, she was a star. You guys shouldn't let her go.
Given Life said, "Oh my God." So, dude, let me just say first, she has the craziest ego and thinks she is like the second coming of Christ.
Well, from the beginning of time, she was told
she's been told
is.
that.
Yeah.
And she's still being told that.
Yeah.
And it's
the only person
not
who pushed back was the Abby Lee is her name.
Oh, the coach.
Owner of the dance company. Yeah.
And
Abby Lee Miller, that's her name.
Yeah, I do know that through my research. Yeah. But so she's unbearable, this human being.
Okay.
She thinks she's literally the best thing ever to happen to anything.
This is fun.
She's unbearable. So everyone's giving her a hard time because she is here. Let's watch.
She's a meme of herself. Yeah.
No, she's
Jojo Siwa is probably the least offensive and most PG-rated performer I've ever seen.
And she might be the worst dancer of all time.
That's her?
Dude, Jared,
she's
Jared,
older.
This is real. Check it out. This is her new style, dude. She don't give an F. You think she gives a single F?
That's not a style.
Look at that, baby. Nah. She doesn't give an F. Look at this.
That's a Halloween costume.
Guest on my podcast?
This is how I talk.
Gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes.
She's held a successful career as a kids entertainer, known for wearing colorful, bright outfits and singing uplifting songs.
Yeah, she was like
that was her, yeah.
There's huge swathes of people absolutely frothing
her
at the
now.
mouth in their hatred for her, and making fun of Jojo Siwa has become a meme. At this stage, it's mostly to do with her changes to branding. After all, she's made a career as an extremely famous performer, getting a start on Dance Moms at only 9 years
Miley
old,
Cyrus's
and then absolutely
whole thing.
exploding on YouTube, as well as having...
Wait. What did you just say?
She's copying Miley Cyrus's whole thing. Miley Cyrus did the whole child star thing and then flipped into this doing the tongue out.
She literally says,
crazy thing.
"This is my Miley Cyrus era, but I'm doing it better." And
oh no.
Oh yeah, but
Miley Cyrus is like a real deal, like
no. Well,
superstar.
How do I put this? Miley Cyrus is like has
she's like
called?
a severe
she has talent.
talent. Yeah.
She has talent. That's what it is. So that's the only difference.
Yeah.
Is this chick literally has no talent?
But the tongue out thing and the whole that was like Miley's thing.
I know.
And even
Trust
she
me.
looks back and cringes about it and
Of course
makes
she
fun of herself
does.
for it. I don't think she wanted that to be like laying the groundwork for other girls to follow.
No,
in
don't
her
follow
footsteps.
my footsteps. Yeah.
Yeah, she
These
says
are the
don't.
mistakes I made. So yeah, learn from that.
Exactly.
But also, she did do the transition well. Ariana Grande has done a transition well.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez did the transition well.
And
There's a
Miley's
lot
so
who did.
good now. Yeah, she's so good.
Dude, how fucked up though is that song "Flowers"?
That's a good
Like
song.
it's like it should just start by saying, "Hey, Liam Hemsworth, this is a big F you."
Well, just like that Wrecking Ball
I
song.
can buy myself flowers. But it's cool. She takes that whole Bruno Mars song and then just flips it. Je flip ya. Best movie ever.
Yeah.
By the way, Kevin Spacey rest in peace. He didn't die, but his career.
I thought he was coming back. I've seen him on all these
that's
shows.
That's what I'm hearing is he's coming back.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about that, but I didn't want to be like, dude, I think he's the best actor because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, but he's really good. Everyone
talented.
loved him before.
And this is always how it's gone. It goes talent.
Yeah.
Is above everything. So your personal life and stuff. Michael Jackson, dude, so talented that he could diddle. You know.
No.
Not that
I don't believe that stuff. Honestly,
I don't either. I don't either. Macaulay said it ain't true. And dude, you know what is my motto?
Yeah.
Anything Macaulay. What is my motto?
There's something about Culkin.
Anything Macaulay Culkin says
has to be true. Okay.
And you've no idea.
That's a terrible life credo.
Creed. Yeah. That's it. Well,
own Nickelodeon show. But now, understandably, she's
look
20
how
years old.
Dude, she don't give an F, brother.
Audiences, but it seems she's so used to catering for kids that her edgy rebrand comes off as quite tame. She's released a song called Karma.
No, that's
which she promised to be pretty wild and for adults only, but it turned out to be rather inoffensive, with an intro waxing lyrical about Jojo being a bad girl doing some bad things, followed up with a tame chorus saying, "Karma's a bitch, I should have known better. If I had a wish, I would have never effed around." No, I'm not removing a swear word for the sake of monetization. She really said effed around.
Oh, that's fine.
Her music video for Karma is not that wild either. It just shows her dancing closely with other girls and nearly, but not actually, kissing them, which is nothing we haven't particularly seen.
But dude, no, they were doing it in water, and she's wearing crazy makeup, so it is very edgy.
It's true. She does look like a bad Harley Quinn outfit costume.
It's like if Kiss were to meet Harley Quinn, were to meet the worst human being
Miley
imaginable.
Cyrus. Yeah.
No, I won't even give her that credit.
Okay.
Before. Maybe this would have been controversial 20 years ago, but right now it seems Jojo Siwa's attempts to go wild are being met with a worldwide...
I'm the shit now.
Okay,
I like him.
Whatever.
Oh, he's the best.
Not only that, but as it turns out, Karma isn't even Jojo's own song. It's technically a redo of a track released by Britt Smith back in 2012, which is rumored to have been originally written for Miley Cyrus. It's clear Jojo wants to go through that Miley Cyrus bad girl phase, or to emulate the countless other artists that were of a similar age when they took charge of their own identity, but it seems her PR team is
Wait, did it show? Hold on.
It's clear Jojo wants to go through that
as
Miley
one of the
Cyrus
examples
bad girl phase, or to emulate the
did it
countless
show Ellen
other artists that
DeGeneres
were of a similar age when.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I don't know.
Wait, Ellen DeGeneres? She had nothing to do with like a transition of any kind.
Yeah,
like that.
or maybe their coming out during that time was a big deal.
Oh, coming out.
Yeah.
Because who cares these days?
Yeah, but back
that's
then
funny.
that was a
That's
big
deal.
thing. Yeah.
She was like, she's like, I might get blacklisted from Hollywood.
Right.
if I do this.
That was a fear.
But yeah, nobody gives a fuck.
They took charge of their own identity, but it seems her PR team
Whoever
is
this
still
person
well
is.
and truly in control. She still can't swear on a music video, she still hasn't really done anything outrageous, and she's still super glittery and flashy, despite claiming no one else in her generation has made this big of a switch up before.
No one has made this dramatic of a change yet. No one has made, in my generation, this extreme.
Wow, you're
switch.
such a
trailblazer. Yeah,
has attracted the ire of the internet simply because she wants to be perceived differently. And whilst her rebrand seems rather milquetoast in execution, at least she's still achieving her goal of making people extremely
So I
confused.
put my hands up.
What meme would you guys?
Yeah, legit.
She steals
Let
it.
me know in the
100%.
comments below.
I remember.
No, legitimately.
Yeah.
So here are just some of the best moments of her just being.
So she pro wrestling?
Renegade. She's a freaking renegade, bro. Like, you think she gives an F?
She looks like a
doesn't
pro
give an F.
wrestler. It looks like a bad pro wrestler. Like,
you know what's the best is there's a whole meme culture based around making fun of her dance from that Karma video. So she comes out. She's like, "You guys have no idea
I got
what's
this
coming."
sick cover.
Yeah. No, she didn't say cover. That was found out, and then she lied and whatever. She's a liar.
I didn't know it was a cover.
No, yeah.
I didn't write it, but still, how would I know?
Yeah, how would I know? Yeah, the writers just bring shit to me, and then I do my stupid, terrible voice, and I use that to cover it. But
She kind of does have a Miley voice.
No, Miley sings.
It's very raspy. No, I know.
The rasp aside, that's it. You know. But here's the thing: is she's supposed to? You doing it's great. She's supposed to be this dancer, right?
Yeah.
Brother, there's nothing
She was really
she
good.
does worse than dancing.
Oh, that sucks. She used to be really good. Oh no.
And it's like so over the top bad.
It's because Abby Lee's not there.
I swear, and that was actually better. I'm not even freaking kidding, dude. That
What
was
about
actually...
the bye in Deadpool? How into it he is, like the dance, like it's so like.
If it was Ryan Reynolds, it would be different.
But it's still good. It's like
such
really
a dancer
moving in
because dancers are
so hard. Yeah, he's into it. Yeah, it's not lazy. It's so
crazy. You know what
pronounced.
I want? I want a microphone right here.
Yeah.
For every dancer, so you just. Dude,
Michael Jackson, yeah, he like used that.
Well,
in
he
his
incorporated
music.
that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, dude, him beatboxing though.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, girl.
He actually had that idea and was like, "I'm gonna put this in," and it actually worked for him.
But yeah, and his beatboxing, he'd be like, "So I don't know. I sort of wanted to sound like." It's like, what the fuck?
There's all these sound things. Yeah, he can do 10 instruments at once.
Yeah, you do instruments. But I sort of wanted to sound like this. I hope somebody's coming in right now during the episode. And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's weird. Why did view duration drop off at 1 hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah. Why at exactly 1 hour 47 minutes did it just... Who knows? But look at this. Just her being the worst.
Do it, Jojo.
A lot of people's guilty pleasure.
Come on, prove us wrong.
Nope.
And that's what this song is.
That song is no one's guilty pleasure. No one likes that song. It's not good.
I like that Hillary Duff song, that "Let the Rain Fall."
Well, that's like an objectively
That was a guilty
great
pleasure song for me.
No, that's like just a good song, I think.
Good.
Call me crazy.
All right.
Makes you listen. Karma makes you ask.
Now I can just roll the windows down.
I'm gonna let you know what karma means.
Whether people like it or not, marketing plan works.
We started off like pretty calm, like nothing like what's out right now.
Listen to you talk while this is moving.
Yeah, what do you
Hold
mean?
those still.
So, during the filming, I feel like we were...
I'm just watching the things. I
yeah,
can't.
I'm literally just watching the things, yeah.
What was my question?
Yeah, what's my own question? Yeah. And why does your answer suck regardless of what I asked?
Yeah.
This song is special. Karma is special.
Yeah. She's not even fucking singing it.
I wasn't ready to say I was a bad girl.
Because you're perfect.
I wasn't ready to say I should have known better.
Because you're perfect. We get it.
Cringy, dude.
She has no... Look at that.
I'm like dying right now.
Dude, no. Look at these fucking moves.
I wasn't ready to say I should have known better.
Look at these moves.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's Raygun.
Yeah.
It's not even Jojo.
Dude, look at
Jojo
this.
don't dancing anymore. Yeah. The high school cheerleading team.
Yeah. What is that?
Tell me, man, the song's coming out this weekend. How you feeling?
We're
Are you
all
ready?
excited now.
I've already shit every brick possible that I got
said
none left
shit,
in
dude.
me.
So I'm thinking music's coming out in July. Like,
Yeah, that needs to go. That hat needs to die.
Is that you?
Yes, oh my god, yes.
Jojo?
Oh my gosh. I mean,
It's like, you know what it's the equivalent of?
What
You know
is
how...
that wrestler?
John Cena?
Yeah.
The S and improv. Yes, and you know when you're trying to see something in the microwave, but if you stare, you can't see it, so you got to do this so that you can see like what's in there.
Okay.
Like, okay, is the cheese coming out yet? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has a few more seconds. Because if you just stare at it dead on, you just see the dots, right?
Yeah,
But
I
you got
guess
to
so,
do this.
Okay.
No one ever talks about the microwave dance.
No.
They should more, I feel like.
Yeah, I just wait for it to beep and then I just grab it.
But I don't know, because it always says cook for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you cook and it's exploding and it's like, what? But it told me and it lied. So anyway, Jojo Siwa, check it out, dude. Boom.
Honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes.
She's so naughty.
I think I just want to make it more
She did not.
clear.
Oh, by the way, she said she went to the label years ago and she said, I want to come up with a new genre of music.
Good.
And they said, what? And this is her telling the story. This
We
is literally
need
basically
this.
verbatim.
Yeah.
They're like, what? That can't be done. She's like, they're like, what genre? What's it? What is it?
Yeah.
She's like, it's called gay pop. And they're like, oh, but that's already a genre.
That is a genre?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Freddie Mercury, Elton John. But what are you saying? Lady Gaga. They're like, there's a genre. But she invented it. And then when everybody called her out and said, no, you didn't, she said, you're right. But
gay pop is a genre. You have pop, you have rock, you have country.
Keep going.
And you have gay pop. If I said to somebody, name a gay pop artist, they'd go, what's gay pop? But if I said to somebody, name a rock artist, you would say,
I Kissed a Girl and I liked it.
You know what I mean?
Katy Perry.
Gay
pop. Gaga, I think they'd say Chapel Roan.
It's one of
They'd
the
say Freddie
biggest
Mercury, Elton John.
songs ever.
Okay, that's valid because I would too.
That's
I would too.
valid.
I'd be like, no.
because she can never be wrong because she's perfect.
Okay, so you're right.
Yeah, I would say that too. And I'd be like, duh, because I know everything. So, duh. So thanks for saying that. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think they'd say Lady Gaga. I think they'd say
That Katy
Chapel
Perry
Roan. They'd say
song
Freddie Mercury,
is
Elton
really
John.
a great
Okay, that's valid
example.
because I would too. I would too. I'd be like, no, Elton John.
She's so
Do
obnoxious.
you want to go back on your statement and say that you weren't the inventor of gay pop?
I definitely am not the inventor of gay pop, for sure not. But I do want to be a
great.
piece in making it bigger than it already is.
She must be the easiest client to manage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
So
the
you're going to go out
creator.
and do the thing and you're not going to curse or anything, right? You're right. Yeah, the cursing, I'm going to
No,
take that
why would
out.
I curse?
was gonna
Because
say
that's
F
weird.
and
That's not even me.
Yeah.
I was going to say the F word, but
I want you to do like
F-ing.
black triangles here.
No, I'm going to do...
Yeah, black
I was
triangles
thinking,
like right here.
Yeah, I was thinking a black triangle maybe here. No, here probably.
So
yeah.
I've got this hat. You're going to wear it on this interview, and there's these things that are just going to shake in front of your face. Yeah, because that's what I wanted to wear anyway. That's perfect. Oh, this is great. So
Yeah,
where
this
do I
isn't
go?
distracting.
Just
Yeah.
point me towards the guy.
Yeah,
I'll just.
as she's hitting walls.
Can you just sit me down in the chair?
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to say you invented a genre called gay pop.
But if anyone pushes back, just immediately just change course because you didn't.
Yeah. Clearly you didn't. So did I invent it?
Yeah.
You didn't, sweetie. You didn't.
Right.
So,
No, I
but
didn't.
say I didn't. Well, of course I'm gonna say I did it first, but then I'll,
She's
cycle back.
she's for the alphabet people. Oh, I get the alphabet people. I didn't get it until now.
I still don't
Okay.
get it. Oh,
All the
LGBTQ
community, yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
Got you.
Plus
But
two.
I'm not the president, but I might be like the CEO or the CMO.
Okay.
I could be the CMO, the chief marketing officer.
Yeah,
So
that's
she
what
has
you are.
an inflated staff that she's paying to know any of those terms because she's like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You need a CMO. You need a CFO, CTO.
Those are real things.
Yeah.
No, for sure. No, literally the best client ever.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna sell
A
both.
CMO, obviously, a CTO. Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. I can't believe we made almost like $1 billion on selling these bows. This is so great. I know, but check it out.
Yeah.
You're
What
gonna
you
now-
made.
Yeah. You're gonna be edgy now, kid. Check this out. Triangles.
Yeah.
You know the band Kiss? No. Okay, but damn it. Okay, but you're gonna look like Kiss.
Shoulder pads. Trust me.
I know what that is.
Yeah. It's coming back.
Mom, what's
You're
a shoulder
bringing
pad?
it back.
Yeah, you are a trailblazer.
Yeah, so
Jojo.
maybe Abby Lee was right because I think she was the one that was like, "I'm done with it. Like, if you don't listen, you're out of here." And then, or they threatened to leave, and she was like, "Cool," and so then they
Laters.
couldn't come back.
Yeah.
It was like one of those situations.
But no, this girl has sold like millions upon millions of dollars in merchandise for her.
So
her
whatever,
bows,
good for her
this,
then,
for that.
yeah.
But no, here's the thing, dude. Be authentic. This is the most bullshit rebrand, and you hit the nail on the head when you said she's trying to do like a Miley Cyrus thing.
she took the Cyrus
Just
idea.
be yourself.
Yeah.
And she wants to be like they asked her, who would be the like the craziest person to have on your podcast? Of course she has a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Loser. But like there's so many good answers. Like say Madonna. I would
Yeah.
love to have Madonna on. You know, somebody go, let's spice things up. One of my exes. No one who's an ex?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. They want to see you have a conversation with someone nobody of us have heard of.
Yeah. With your ex?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun, actually.
Yeah, so you guys would argue?
Yeah.
Remember when you wouldn't stop looking at the microwave like this? Well, you know that's what I do when I need to heat up my Totino's pista.
Honestly, I don't know what you're so upset about.
Yeah.
This is like crazy. I can't believe I even
Can you
invited
take
you
the
on.
fucking hat off, please? Yeah.
What? No, my team said that this really this goes really well with my 18 to 24 year olds.
Yeah. Yeah, my CMO told me I must wear this. Yeah. So she's the worst.
This is why we broke up. Was the hat?
Yeah.
And you brought it to the show.
Yeah.
What? This? Oh my God.
You've
there's
never
no way this
mentioned-
bothered you that much. Where are you? Are you over here? I hate you.
She left. She left, Joe. She left like 5 minutes ago.
Well, get her back in here.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. But I'll talk to you later. So that's why she's a fucking meme.
Yeah.
Why so meme,
Welcome
dude?
to the club.
We're putting you on this.
Siwa.
Oh, we're putting you on here.
Siwa.
Oh, I can't wait to put you on this. Because we've talked about most of these people. But
Joe, you gonna be on there soon.
Jojo.
Siwa on the meme graphic.
I can't wait.
Shortly.
And she fucking deserves it. Because she's a garbage person.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from her being literally the worst, that's all we got. That's it.
At least she's not memed to anybody. You know?
I know what you mean.
She's really trying to just keep her
But
attitude in check.
Just be your authentic self.
Yeah. The whole fake thing is meaningless.
She has no memeing.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
It is.
Just like this.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Like the hat. What does this mean?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero memeing.
That has to go up there.
No, her in that in the
that
fucking hat.
Yeah. That's the meme.
Yeah. So is that it?
Yeah.
I love it.
Exciting stuff.
Episode 98. We're 2 weeks away.
Yep.
And from a 2-year anniversary, baby.
Yeah.
2 years at TPTNS.
Talked a lot about a lot of things.
We're also
She's mean to herself.
tying. Yeah. She's mean to herself. We're also tying together many things for episode 100. So yeah, literally episode 100 will be the day after our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
And it'll be episode 100 where we're tying a bunch of stuff together. So it'll be a fun birthday party. You can't miss it. But next week, there's more stuff to be tied, okay?
Yes.
These shoes aren't tied yet.
That's true.
Okay? You know what I mean? All right. From Jared.
Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Always, you guys are the best. You make the show. Please throw something in the comments. Commenting helps the show. Liking, subscribing obviously helps. Sharing the video gets it out there to more people. We've been noticing a lot more folks on the show and in the comments lately, and we love that. I want to know what you think about these underground cities. What message were they trying to convey? Is this something we need to be worried about? Why are billionaires building bunkers all the time right now? Seems like there's something going on. I can't wait for episode 100. We'll see y'all soon.
Yeah, I can't wait for episode 100. You guys are going to enjoy it. I know we're having fun planning it. So, and if you have any ideas, like Jared said, just throw it in the comments. And hit that like button, leave a comment on the episode. Like I said, it helps get the show out, and that's great. Thank you for all the hearts. We love you guys so much. Great show. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Chase. Thank you, Delivar. Everyone who donated, everyone who commented, everyone who likes. Look at all those badges. You guys all rock. And so we're gonna make sure we have the best episode 100 for you guys. And but next week is no slouch. Don't think we're taking a week off and gonna be lazy bums. We got you next week. So guys, thank you. We love you. You know it. You're the bee's knees. You're the catch PJs, and we will catch you on that flippity flop. Magnificent. Thank you, Miss Domino. Love you guys so much. Catch you on the flippity flop. Later, Skedda.